Hello, hello. My name is Shannon Taya. I'm a singer-songwriter, band leader, and music producer, but all my friends call me a feral raccoon. I'm based out of the Capital Region, New York, and I wanted to come to you today with a little bit of information on what goes on behind the scenes when I'm producing a song. So my next single is called Human. I'm so excited. If you'd like to come to the release party of that, it's April 3rd with my full band at Lost and Found in Albany. I wrote this song originally about needing to give ourselves a little bit of grace, a little bit of patience, and understanding that we're kind of all messed up in our own ways. So it's important to be kind to one another and to ourselves. I wanted to add some musical elements to Human that made it a bit more of a pop anthem and less of a folky singer-songwriter vibe, which if you're familiar with some of my super old stuff, you might know Human from Unplugged in Patagonia, a live album that I recorded in an abandoned church in Argentina. That's also the only time you can find any evidence of a sung bridge in Human, because now it's a trumpet solo, which is honestly, in my opinion, way cooler. But if you want to check out the OG, I'll link it in the description of this video. So we started out with a little bit of a collab with White Lake Studios. We're so grateful that they had us in to record drums for this track. And also lead vocals and backing vocals were recorded at White Lake Studio as well. We got to work with this awesome recording engineer, and it was just honestly such a privilege to be in such a beautiful space. Let me start out by showing you a little bit of the master. Okay, this is the final master, mastered by Austin Halterman. 10 out of 10 would recommend him to any young audio engineer just getting started. He gives great feedback on the mix, and he's helped me really polish it up. If you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say the master of a song, what even is that? It's the last stage in finishing a track that basically involves making sure that the volume of each part of the song is compatible with all streaming platforms everywhere. So if I go in Spotify and I listen to something by Chapel Roan and then I put my song on, I don't want my song to be like 3 decibels quieter, because it's just going to immediately make people less interested. I also don't want it to be louder, because then streaming platforms will compress it themselves, and that often loses some of the quality of the audio. So find yourself a great mastering engineer. If you're not like a pro, don't try and do it yourself. It's not that expensive, and it's just so worth it to have an extra set of professional ears on your track. Let's start with the drums and bass, okay? There's something really cool going on here. Behind the scenes, it's called a side chain. What is a side chain? A side chain is when 2 frequencies exist in the same space. They go like this, bam. A side chain makes this. So basically, the kick drum and the bass, they kind of go like this sometimes. And it can be a bit wompy, and it just doesn't sound super glued together. So side chain makes a little pocket for your bass to exist while the kick drum also gets to exist, so they can hang out and hold hands instead of fight. Let's move on to guitar. So there's actually 3 people playing guitar on this track. The first one is me. I'm playing my little strummy acoustic guitar. Awesome. Then we add Neil goes. Neil recently retired from the band, but he is all over this EP, y'all. It's lovely every time I'm in here mixing and I'm like, Neil. Last but certainly not least is our new guitarist, Peter. So Peter Roderick added some little and all of them together sound like this. Now let's get into the weird part. Upon listening to this song, I don't think people would know that there's a ton of MIDI noises and MIDI tracks that are going on, but there are. Let me show you. So there's all these sparkly noises. There's a piano. The piano is also sidechained to the kick, by the way. That's how we get that bouncy. And what I'm doing with all of this extra noise is kind of compressing it, putting it behind the scenes, because I don't want this track to sound super fake, super MIDI. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just I wanted a little bit more of an organic sound, but it adds a sparkle and it adds this body to the sound, and you can play around with EQ too to let different frequencies shine at different moments, and you can automate some reverb. So, maybe my high-pitched horn synth thing has a huge delay, a huge reverb on it, and then it cuts out. There's a lot of that going on behind the scenes, and I just love vibing to it. There's some 808 beats in here. So we've got some super low end because I really wanted you to feel this in your body when you listen to it on a big speaker. Let's move on to the vocals. So I mentioned that the vocals were recorded mostly at White Lake Studios. We did a couple extra takes at home too. These vocals were so fun. Our vocalists on this track are myself, Hunter Frost, Rachel Costello. It sounds like this. It sounds so cool. If you love the vocal arrangement of this song, you can check out my Patreon. I have a Patreon for $5 a month, and I actually posted the entire acapella version of this song up there for anyone listening to enjoy. I think it sounds really cool, really pretty. It's a little bit more whimsical and magical than the full produced version. It's hard to compare them, but yeah, check it out. The very last thing on this track might be my favorite part. It's the last thing that we recorded, the last thing that was mixed in. Trumpet by Zechariah Allen. If you don't know Zech, he's the audio engineer running sound on Monday nights at Cafe Lena. He also runs sound for Lark Hall in Albany. He's an incredible brass player. We are so lucky to have him on this track. This is what it sounds like. So those are all the pieces, and this is the final mix. I'm so excited to party and celebrate this song on April 3rd. So if you love it, please come out to the show. And if you want to see more videos like this, give me a follow, give me a comment, give me an idea for another video. There are so few women producers, and I would really like to meet more people like me, so that we can stick together and learn from each other, because we just have to, so that we can all grow. Let's not gatekeep, because that's boring, and how else are we going to take over the world and destroy the patriarchy? What else? If you're seeing this on social media, you're probably not seeing the whole thing, so head on over to my YouTube or my Patreon to watch the entire video. Also, I'd love to do a video where I'm actually showing you my screen in Ableton, but I have no idea how to do that. So if anyone knows, please drop a comment telling me how. Anyways, keep producing, stay sexy, you're wonderful, happy spring. I can't wait for this song to be out in the world. Thank you for coming with me on this adventure, and comment what you want to see. I will try to make more videos like this when I'm not burnt out and sad. Much love.